Good Monday evening, March the 14th, 2022. This is Granny, her whole hands. She's back. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and we've picked up about 8 new persons that have decided to trust us and join our Facebook page. Um, I dressed up because I wanted to start chapter 7 looking pretty cool. So it's not Black History, even though this is beautiful. This is to get us back into the readings in chapter 7. For those of you that have the book, starts on page 36, and we're going to do it in 2 parts, I believe. And it's just simply Wrinkled and Worn. The truth does hurt. And this particular chapter, like I said, we're going to have to do it in 2 sessions, talks a lot about what I experienced, the good, the bad, and as I said, the truth does hurt. And so, with that said, we'll start. We live in an age where the world is continually changing. We have access to the best technology available. We can beam into conversations through distance learning technology. An individual can actually remain in the comfort of his or her home and complete a college degree program. And we also have the ability to transform an entire classroom into a visual learning center where students have the capacity to interact with other students from all over the world. We call this the age of information and technology. I had the opportunity to broaden my educational experiences by returning to school later in my adult life. I was hungry. I was hungry to do something that would help me close the gap between what I thought I knew and what this new learning journey would expose me to. I was so far behind the times. It had been over 20 years since I had attended any type of school, so I was really stuck somewhere between the new math and the rich history of African Americans that was already now slowly filtering through our educational system. I was reading and having conversations about people from different parts of the world. These people had made significant contributions to our world, and I never knew some of them existed. I was on a roll. Access to information and technology were changing things for me, and I was ready to explode. I had always had a passion for African American history. I thought God had created me to help change our world, and this view regarding my equality and justice for persons with my same skin tone. I can remember engaging in deep discussions with one of my undergrad professors that somehow always ended up on Africa. He discovered his true self while on a mission there with the Peace Corps one summer. Changed my whole atmosphere, my whole concept about Africa. I developed a hunger for this hidden treasure, not realizing that one day it would help me change the direction my life had been going in. I must reinforce how powerful technology, knowledge, and information are. These three powerful sources provided the platform I needed to deal with some painful truths regarding the freedom I had been searching for. There were some more closets I had been held captive in, and I wanted out. We must never forget to pass these sources, these three sources, and remind our children's children about them to the power that they represent. The beauty of this truth can change our world if instructed on how to use it correctly. You really can be free, even if you're locked up physically, emotionally, or spiritual, like I had been for so many years. We're on page 38. For that reason, it's vitally important that we continue to look for ways to close these gaps between those who have access to knowledge and information and those who don't. I knew the truth and I had the information. I realized others could be hurt or disappointed in me if I shared what had been shut up in my closet, surrounded by a brick wall. I can actually confess that at one point in my life, with all this information and knowledge, I never considered myself special, unique, or even wonderful until much later. When I think of all the missed opportunities I let slip away because I had such low self esteem, I could really kick myself. We often hear how hindsight is so much clearer in retrospect after that. I sure would like to have a daily dose of hindsight before things happen. I shared with you how I arrived on this planet. You already know I was small in weight at birth. I arrived 2 pounds and 15 ounces. I survived during the 50s when neonatal care was basically non existent and nowhere near modern technology advancements we have today. What a blessing for me to have survived. I enjoyed the pleasures of having nappy hair as a small child and for the most part of my life. However, I carried all the weight and judgments associated with being labeled little old black child. I will speak more on that subject later. This particular journey that I am about to share with you hit me dead smack in the core of my heart. I did not phantom the future holding any bright dreams for me, nor could I look down the road of life and see someone cheerleading, coaxing me on this continued journey. It forced me to deal with the turbulence that occurred in my life at an early age. Turbulence is such a destructive thing if not calmed. The North American English Dictionary defines turbulence as a state of confusion characterized by unpredictability and uncontrolled change, profound uncertainty. Take a break. And I experienced that. Granny, as a granny, even before I became a granny, I experienced all this and I couldn't identify or put a name to it, but it was going on in my life. The turmoil that occurred in my childhood prompted me to open the closet doors. Once you open the door, you either have to deal with what's on the other side or you discover ways to keep what you saw suppressed deep, deep inside. I chose to walk right in and take the closet doors off the hinges once and for all. I have already articulated how much I love my parents and how my family was hit with life's altering trials one after another. What I hadn't shared was what prompted me to think so little of myself, consequently, rendering my helplessness when the second wave of turbulence showed up. There was no hiding place big enough for me. Changes had begun to occur, and the winds had shifted in my life once again. The judicial system, with greater powers and authority than I had, used their influence to change the course and the direction of my life when I was placed in foster care. I was in an unpredictable, unstable environment with little or no control over it. Early in my adolescence life, this instability helped to buttress a wall that I erected around myself, a self made brick wall. I built it turbulent, brick by brick, with self hate, doubt, and shame as the foundation. Each brick came to represent some tragic incident that was brought on one new wave of overpowering turbulence in my life. I was unsafe and untouchable to those around me. I had to use the best cement available to contrix the bricks for the use of the wall. I didn't allow air or water to seep in. I didn't even allow myself to take a breath. I wasn't living, I just existed. I had learned the necessity skills needed to go through the motions required for living the world, but I was not connected to it. I made no noise concerning who I was. Say it again. I made no noise concerning who I was. As a result, no one ever questioned my identity, nor did they ask for my credentials. I had a social security card, I had a library card, and a plastic card verifying that I was a member of the Columbia House Record Club. Can you believe that? Remember the Columbia House Record Club? You could get 5 records for $1. You sent your application in, and each month they would send. I was a member. As a teenager, I had a card along with my library card that said I was a member of the Columbia, and it was located in Indianapolis, Columbus House Record Club. I never caused any employer I worked for trouble. I went to work on time. I didn't drink nor smoke or introduce any harmful substance into my body. I couldn't even dance. People, as well as some of my family members, just allowed me to go through life without ever questioning the purpose of the wall I had erected. We're on page 40. This wall I built around me to hide my hands and hang my head in shame because of things that had occurred in my life. I had experienced failure and disappointment early in life. I knew people's words meant nothing anymore, and I also knew love came with a non refundable price tag. Did you hear that? Love came with a non refundable price tag. Mm. I enjoyed the wall I built. I had control over how the rest of my life would be played out. I had used my old hands to do many things while hiding behind the wall in my own private closet. I'm going to stop on page 40. Take a breath. This is not in the book. This is for somebody listening. I took bricks, not physical bricks, but imaginary bricks, and I built a wall around myself. And I had cemented that wall so tight that I convinced myself that I was not even worthy, even though I was living. But I had those bricks so tight, air couldn't even get in, water couldn't get in. And why am I saying this? This chapter is wrinkled and worn. The truth hurts. I had to come face to face with this closet that I was hiding in about things that had happened and things that were going on. But I had this wall, and as long as I built it brick by brick, I was okay. Because nobody could see on the other side but me. But man, when that blast came and knocked those bricks down, have you ever started something and you're doing okay? And then when you stop and look around, that wall that you built around yourself, people don't see the wall. They actually see you, and you can't handle it because you've been hiding. And that's what I was doing in this closet. And that's why I say Granny's hands were wrinkled and they were worn because I had built this wall myself. Nobody told me to build it. Nobody brought the bricks but me. But I used the characteristics that come with low self esteem, not feeling good about yourself, to construct each brick. So, as we go further, next week in chapter 7, you're going to hear about the sexual abuse and how I hid behind another wall that I erected way until after I was married and had kids. Can you believe that? But my hands, each time, they got more wrinkler, if I could say that word, and more worn because I kept building the wall. I didn't want to come, I didn't want to blast the wall. And you say, why? That's crazy. Because sometimes, grannies, anybody that's listening, sometimes you think you're comfortable when you're hiding, but you're not. You miss out on so much. Now, with that said, we're going to start again next Monday night. And like I said, this is not Black History. I just wanted to look nice tonight since we're starting. It's trying to slip off with the team. They got to do a little better job of helping me with this stuff. Anyway, I just wanted to look real nice because we were starting over. Now, look at what I have. You didn't know this. My sister hid this. This is my, I don't dance, I don't smoke, I'm scared to drink. So I try to tell myself I'm going to learn how to play this harmonica. And I found it in the office under a rocking chair. So, with that said, this is Granny. Please share, subscribe, join us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Join our Facebook club. We'd be happy to have you. We try to post things weekly just for inspirational purposes. This has been a good Monday night. I'm so thankful, so grateful to be back reading the book. We stopped on page 40. We'll pick it up next Monday night and hopefully we can get through it. If not, it may take three different times because it's one of the longest chapters because it deals with Granny's old hands being wrinkled and worn. With that said, please like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. You know about the team. I have a fantastic team. I won't call any names because I'll forget somebody, but I have persons that have surrounded me, family members. I got a new mic. Guys, if I can show you this, look at this. A new mic. Did you hear that? Brand new mic that sits right next to one of the recording things. And it's just amazing how I've been blessed through family members, through friends, some new lighting. We got some new lighting. I just believe that this is part of what I'm supposed to do. And so, with that said, this is Granny's old hand saying, have a good rest of your night. Please, please be safe. Let's pray for our world. I don't have to just beg us, but let's take some time for the people that don't maybe look like us that are going through. Let's pray for the families that have been destroyed by this foolishness. Let's pray that God give us the means to keep gas in our automobiles. Oh my goodness, when you go to the gas tank, I don't want to complain because somebody may not have a vehicle. Somebody may not even have the ability to get in a vehicle and drive, but I do. So I thank God for the gas prices. I'm not going to complain. Have a good rest of your night. This is Granny saying, see you next week. Bye.